All right. So, once again, a very, very, very good evening to all of you. Right? Here we start. I hope all the technical glitches are clear. And we start with Teacher Plus. Now, first of all, why would I call this session Teacher Plus? All of you here, I hope I am included too. You all are fantastic, excellent teachers. Yet, I've known this, and that's what my mentor has always told me. Behram, perfection is always a journey, never a destination. And that's specifically why I've called my session Teacher Plus. Let's add something to our profile every single day, every single time. And for that, I've got this T. Yes, and that is teach, test, track, transform. That's exactly where I come in with Teacher Plus. The 4 things that we need to do, and it's the 4th one that's most important, to transform the life of our child, to transform the life of our student. And that's what we are going to do. Yes. Thank you very much, Stalin Abraham. Thank you very much, Lakshmi. Thank you very much, everybody. Yes, you are getting the sound. Good evening to all of you. Now, so here I'm continuing Teacher Plus, because the role of a teacher is not limited to academics. Along with the parents, the teacher has the all-important role to make every single child a successful human being. Yes, Sangeeta, there was a technical issue. It has been sorted and we are on air again. Yes. So, a teacher is so important for the success of a child. And still, we have this debate, So, let me first of all put an end to this so-called never-ending debate. Teacher versus technology. Everybody, came the pandemic and everybody was saying technology is now replacing teachers. No. In fact, the teachers were the front line warriors during the pandemic. Believe me, technology can never replace a teacher. I think you will all agree with me. But yes, a teacher who uses technology will definitely replace a teacher who doesn't. Right? The thing is not whether to use technology or not. The thing is how judiciously to use technology. Because a teacher's role is not limited only to the concept or the content. A teacher leads, guides, facilitates, and mentors the student. Believe me, I had the good fortune of interviewing none other than Shiv Khera, the famous acclaimed writer, You Can Win. And he told me something so important. He said, Behram, only a teacher and a parent will care to correct a child. Why am I telling you that? Why don't you see it in his own words? Here we go.
In fact, in my 8th grade, I was a backbencher troubling the front benchers, and out of 6 or 7 subjects, I failed on all except one. And I came number 27 because the 28th was absent. And in my 10th grade, I had to repeat my class. So I failed. And when I repeated my class, I was so embarrassed. I told my mother, I said, Mom, get me out of the school. They can give us pass certificate. Maybe I can go to any other school somewhere. But I am ending up losing 1 year of my life. And my mother said, I would rather see you lose 1 year of your life than lose your values for the rest of your life. You better sit there. You messed up. You pay for it. She never bailed us out. And one mistake that parents do today, they bail their kids out. They bail their kids out during the childhood formative years. You know something, the best thing could be at that point, let them bear the consequences of the decision so that in future they will not have to go through. You see, I learned one thing. Only parents in life and teachers in life care to correct. Only parents and teachers care to correct. World does not correct. World only punishes.
I love that. I love what he said. Only a teacher and a parent will care to correct a child. The rest of the world will punish. Fantastic words. So, let's all remember here that as teachers, we are not just giving academic support. Academic, physical, and of course, emotional support to our children. Right? Things like, how can technology teach discipline? That's the role of a human teacher. How can technology teach a child understanding, empathy, sympathy, love, patience, balance between family and friends? Social development is the role of a teacher, right? How is technology going to tell a child that you cannot compare yourself with somebody else? In a 40-watt bulb, if I put a 100-watt connection, is that bulb going to shine brighter? No, obviously not. This is where the human teacher comes in, right? And so, I come back to my 4T, and that is teach, track, teach, test, track, and eventually transform. But my question is there some place where we teachers, we human teachers, can use technology? Is it possible in these 4 steps to learning? Teach, test, track, transform. Yes, it's possible. Not only possible, I think it's obligatory that we teachers use the best that technology has to offer. Watch this video, my dear friends. Watch it.
Exhibit A. Here's a modern day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today. And here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today. And here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed.
So he says, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Though the phone has changed, the car has changed, but nothing else. Teaching hasn't changed. Why? Yes, let us use this Superman called technology to do something which we human teachers can easily avail. This help we can easily avail. Now, let me give you a simple example of how technology was used 11 years ago in Clintondale School, Michigan. They used the flipped classroom. Some students were missing their lectures due to sports, due to the fact that they were not interested, right? Which happens so often to so many students here. Due to various factors, they were either missing them or they were not following what is going on in the classroom. Principal Greg Green of the Clintondale High School said, let's flip the class. So he divided the standard into 2 different groups. One group which had all the students who were faring very, very well, and another group which had students who were not faring well. Failures, disinterested. Now, he told the teachers in the second group, the failures and disinterested, he told the teachers, whatever you're going to teach tomorrow, post an online video, like a small little trailer with some concepts of that today. And tell them to watch it and come. He flipped the classroom. The results are here to see. Students were now rocking. In fact, the flipped students began to outshine the normal students. With the success of this, The next year, they went ahead and flipped the entire ninth grade, English, maths, science, social studies. And now the failure rate of the school dropped from 30% to 10%. Simple technology, recording your lecture, what we all did. Teachers, we have been frontline warriors, each and every one of you. Teachers who have not been used to technology have actually used so much of technology for 2 full years. You all have been doing this, and it's an amazing thing, right? Now, let us see how we can do it for English. In English literature, each and every teacher wants to be the star. Yes, definitely. So would I. So would everybody. It would be a shame if I'm doing an O. Henry story, for example, The Last Leaf, and there would be a video to give away the suspense, to give away the ending. No. It is the teacher who will spin the students into a web, who, like the Pied Piper, will attract the students and give them this beautiful, beautiful story. It is a teacher who is going to do that. The English literature teacher is, after all, a master storyteller. I'm not saying it, right? Even Gail Godwin, the famous author, says good teaching is 1/4 preparation and 3/4 pure theatre. I bet she must be talking about the English literature teacher, all of you, right? But my question is, what about grammar? What about grammar? As it is in schools, in institutions, the grammar periods are very few. The entire focus is on literature. If you take CBSE, for example, there is a literature book, there is a supplementary reader, right? There are an equal number of poems and stories in the literature book, and there are about 10 to 11 stories in the literature reader, in the supplementary book. So you have an example of Footprints Without Feet, for example, right? Or you have Beehive and Moments, a combination. So where is the time for grammar? And we all know how important grammar is, right? This is where I can assure you we can use the power of our friend technology. Yes, that is where we can use technology, because grammar is something which is 100% application. As many sentences of a particular type, active and passive voice, subject-verb agreement, direct, indirect speech, changing the degrees of comparison, rewriting using the correct tenses, prepositions, conjunctions, as many sentences that I make my students solve, even if I make them solve 500 sentences, which is going to be huge. In the exam, the sentence will be completely different from the ones I've taught them, right? So, in such a topic, in such a paper, in such a scenario, how are we as teachers supposed to see that our students have a fantastic time? Yes, formation, reformation, and transformation will be the aim of great teachers. Shalin Abraham, thank you so much. Let's take a sentence here, right? As soon as Neha will eat, she will sleep. Neha always does that. She eats and she sleeps. And the students have to start with no sooner. Soon. So I have to tell the child that whenever you are going to start with no sooner, first of all, as soon as has to go. So you write no sooner. Fantastic. Now, whenever you write no sooner, remember the comma in the sentence will be replaced by than. Right? Now, you have to swap the subject and the auxiliary. So here we are. No sooner will Neha eat than she will sleep. So here we need to give them this particular rule. Start with no sooner, swap subject and auxiliary as you saw right here. Use than in place of the comma and keep the rest of the sentence as it is. The same thing we can do with hardly, when, same. So once we explain this to the child, the children who are fast get this very, very quickly. But what about the remaining children? What about children who have not got this quickly? How do we know that they haven't understood? Very simple. When we test them, we realize that they are not getting that particular answer. They are not able to apply this particular rule. Start with no sooner, instead of the comma have than, swap the subject and auxiliary, the rest remains the same. Now, here comes the best part. Can we have technology providing a 24/7 teacher? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible with the help of technology. Technology that we... Okay, so since you did not get the example of no sooner, it's start with no sooner, swap the subject and auxiliary. So Neha will becomes will Neha. In the place of the comma, use a than, right? And remaining sentence remains the same. Rosie, no sooner does Neha eat will be the correct answer in your case. So, technology has great power and great usage. Imagine we have a video on this. Start with no sooner, swap subject and auxiliary. In the place of the comma, put a than. The rest of the sentence remains the same. And imagine the child gets to watch it again and again and again and again. Pause, replay, 24/7. Do you think it's possible? Yes, you and I teachers, we can make it possible. And believe me, to help you out, sir, is there something which you can provide to us to help us out? Sir, grammar is a real problem. I know you are all thinking that. Yes, there is. And that's where we come with our Firefly series. Right? All from standards 1st to 8th, complete grammar, vocabulary and writing skills. The entire language part of English is taken care of in a beautifully graded manner. Very beautifully graded. Amazingly graded. Right? You can, let me give you a simple example. This is the book number 4 for the 4th standard. In the 4th standard, let's look at a topic called articles. Now, as you can see, every single topic, grammar topic, vocabulary topic, has an explanation. You can see that clearly. And has lots of activities after every concept, after every explanation. Lots of activities. And the teacher is the one who will teach in the classroom. Wow, there is nobody who can ever replace a fantastic teacher. But what about the practice? What about the child who has to apply everything? What about the child who is slower? What about the child who is disinterested? And what about the child who was absent? Firefly to your rescue. We'll add fire and make our children fly. Okay, coming back here. This book has everything graded and systematically arranged with lots of activities and examples. And the child will write each one of them. And to help the child would go to a private tutor who is teaching English, maths, science, social studies, Tamil, Hindi, Marathi, everything. Here, the child has a specialist teacher, a teacher who is going to specialize and do exactly what the child needs. That is perfect grammatical English. All that the child needs to do is to scan the QR code. If the child does not remember what the teacher has taught him, or if the child is stuck during the homework, the child has to scan the QR code. Once the QR code is scanned, the child now goes directly and gets the answer. So let's see. The child scans the QR code and the teacher appears on the screen with the perfect answer. Perfectly explained. Are you able to listen to the audio, my friends? If not, I can help you out. Yes, here the teacher is exactly explaining why are we going to use a, not an and not the as the correct article. Because it is not a specific bat. It is not a bat which is owned by Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar or Dhoni or somebody. It's just a fine cricket bat. And fine F has a consonant sound. It doesn't have a vowel sound. So we will not be using an, we should be using a. And that's exactly what the teacher is explaining to you on the screen. Perfect? Great. Let's take one more example. Yes, I am here to answer each and every question of yours. You will have doubts. I will be looking at the chat continuously to answer all your doubts. Right? Now let's take book number 5. And let's take a topic which is so important. Subject-verb agreement. You know how I tell them subject-verb agreement? I give them an example. Two singular nouns with and in between will give you a plural verb. For example, idli and vada are tasty, are plural verb. But if those two nouns are used as one unit, then the verb becomes singular. Even if there are two nouns. For example, idli and sambar is a staple breakfast. Is, not are, is. So I tell them when it was idli and vada, it was plural, but idli and sambar, yes, because idli and sambar are generally eaten together. So it's one. I tell them the group of teachers, first I tell them the teachers make fun of Behram. So many people do. Right? Okay, jokes apart. The teachers make fun of Behram. Plural verb, make. Why? Because the subject, the teachers, is singular. But I tell them the group of teachers, now I ask them, you put the correct verb. Is it makes or is it make? Most of the students will make the mistake of writing M-A-K-E, make, because they think the group of teachers is plural. Then I say no. Locate the subject. The subject is not the teachers here. The subject is the group. And group is a collective noun. And collective nouns mostly take a singular verb. So the group of teachers makes fun of Behram. So this is the way we go around. Yes, thank you, Soul. Soul, you're absolutely right. It's a combination. So look at this particular video in which I am doing subject-verb agreement. The child scans. Child is having a problem. The child just scans. And the video appears on the screen. The teacher appears. 24/7 teacher. Pause, replay, whatever, at all times. And here, the teacher is guiding them and telling them where we are supposed, where are we supposed to use the singular verb, the plural verb, which is the exact tense to use. If it's a daily action, a habitual action, of course, we are not going to use the present continuous or any other tense. We are going to use the simple present tense. So, I'll just recap this for you, everybody. Right? Where do we need a classroom teacher? Everywhere. But where can we use technology? We can use it to test, we can use it to track, and we can use it to practice. 24/7 practice. We can use it for students who may not be able to attend our class someday. We can definitely use technology for students to practice lots and lots of examples, and then the transformation happens. So teach, test, track, and eventually transform. That's where I come from. And these books are a great help. I think they must be the only books of their kind today, where in a graded manner, each and every explanation has a teacher. So if the child is not able to understand after the teacher repeats it once, twice, the child can understand it better every time. Each and every single explanation or concept is followed by multiple activities, multiple questions, multiple examples, each and every one of them solved with a live teacher. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed this presentation, but don't go, because the most important part starts now. The questions and answers, right? That's exactly what I want you to ask. Yes. So it is Sohail here. We are starting with the first question. Sohail, thank you so much for your question. You are saying it's absolutely right, but students use phones in different ways. It is better to teach them in the classroom. Yes, Sohail, you are absolutely right. There is no replacement for a classroom teacher. But yes, there is. When the child goes home, the child uses that phone to either watch some OTT series, or the child is going to use that phone to play some games. Better that the child uses that phone as a follow-up of what the teacher has done. So then you can either flip the classroom and make the child watch the video and come, so that you can take the children to application-based questions, or you can use the extended classroom model. You give the explanation and tell the children exercise 1, 2, and 3 for homework. Don't come without your homework. If you have any doubt, watch the video. Amazing. Now, Sohail, the best part of this is that when they have watched the video in class, at home, and they have come to class, sorry, no phones in class. When they have watched the video at home and come to class, imagine your class is going to be so interactive. Don't do it for literature. We, of course, don't want the story or the poem to be given away. But definitely, you can do it for grammar, vocabulary, and writing skills. Oh, Smith, thank you so much. Thank you, Smith. Thank you so very much. Yes. So Sohail is saying that he is already using technology in the class. Sohail, now you can actually, if you have this book with you, if all the students have this book in the classroom, and believe me, it's not expensive. It's very inexpensive. If all the students have this book in the classroom, you don't need to have a grammar notebook. This is your grammar book. This is your language book. The teacher can correct here only because all the questions are given. Amazing? Great. Yes, I am waiting for some more questions. Thank you, Savitri. Thank you for your wonderful compliment. Thank you so much. But I would like you all to ask questions because that's where we are coming from. Okay, Saurabh says, it will be like student is having his own personal teacher while he's... Oh, Saurabh, you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. Perfect, Saurabh. It is exactly that. So the child has a 24/7 tuition teacher right next to him in the book. Fantastic. Lata says it's the perfect way of guiding children anytime through technology for grammar. Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you so much, Lata, for this compliment. Kartika says, thank you, sir. Such a wonderful session. Oh, I am so grateful. In spite of all the technical glitches, you actually can say that, thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session. Thank you. I am grateful to you. Okay, Vidhu Bala says your session is good and super, sir. Thank you so much, Vidhu. Thank you very, very much. And there is another thank you, sir, from Chitu. And there is a Shruti Varghese saying, thank you, sir, for your valuable information in class. Believe me, I tell you, and whatever new that we have, anything new in technology, anything new in the way of teaching, believe me, it should be shared. Once, just imagine if it was Thomas Alva Edison, right, who invented the light bulb. Imagine if he had to invent the light bulb and keep it in his own house, not tell anybody about it, only for himself. Let everybody light candles. Today we would all have been still lighting candles. Even right now as I'm standing in the studio, I'm surrounded by so many lights. Imagine, once you have invented something, once you have done something, give it to the world, my friends. Yes, definitely give it. Collaboration is always better than competition. This is something which technology won't teach you, but a teacher definitely will. Right? Okay. Kavita says, thank you, sir. It was really a very nice session and very helpful. And Sohail is back again. As the child can grasp the things in class, what we teach, and can understand things easily, the child won't understand. Exactly, Sohail, you are absolutely right. But there are students who may be absent in your class. There are students who 6 months later may not remember what you have taught. Okay, forget 6 months. In grammar, let's take active and passive voice. It's there in the 5th standard, 6th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard. Now, think about this. If the teacher, as a teacher, you feel, I have already taught this in the 7th standard, and I don't need to teach it in the 8th and the 9th and the 10th, or I need to be quick when I'm teaching it, maybe the child will not get the entire concept. Technology is helpful, Sohail. You are a great teacher, undoubtedly. But you can be greater, and you can make your children and students the greatest with the help of technology, Sohail. Thank you so much, Sohail. Okay, Anita is, okay, Sankita is saying, thank you, sir. And there is Sivranjita saying, excellent info, sir. Sadia Khan is saying, thank you, sir. And Anita is saying, any tip would you like to give how to make students understand grammar easily? Well, the best tip I can give you is to give them shortcuts. Shortcuts. Right? Like I just told you for no sooner. Start with no sooner, swap subject and auxiliary, use than in place of the give them a shortcut. And then give them multiple sentences to solve. Use the Firefly book. Right? Anita, use the Firefly book to make them solve these activities. You do the teaching and let technology do the practicing. Make sense? Fantastic. Pratibha says the session is good and the QR code system is also good for students. Nice explanation. Yeah, I just want to tell you, Pratibha, thank you so much. It's so good to see you teachers coming up with the fact that yes, technology is going to be a part of our lives and our students' lives. Wonderful. Success Customer is saying, thank you for your valuable information, sir. Gayatri Devi is saying, thank you, sir, for your informative session. And Sohail again comes with that beauty. He says we should teach the students according to their ability and mind power. But in today's generation, technology is also important. Oh, Sohail, you have hit it this time. In today's generation, technology is also important. Fantastic. And Success Sastama says, had a great time. Even I've had a great time. Maybe as a closing statement, I would like to say one thing. The book name, Hasina, is Firefly series. Firefly. You can see the logo right at the bottom. Firefly. How to improve spellings. Fantastic. Improve spellings in two ways. One, through pronunciation. And two, through writing practice. See, the very fact I said pronunciation. Pro, P-R-O, none. We have nuns and we have fathers. N-U-N. Ciation. Right? Shin, nation. Relaxation is always T-I-O-N. So this is the way. Break up the word with the pronunciation. Use the phonetics. Explain to them the pronunciation and then make them write it down. Amazing. Rosie is saying, okay, we have a thank you from Radhika. We have a thank you from Anita, from Prerna. And Rosie is saying, thank you, sir, for reaching to teachers in the live session and helping us how to help kids to learn grammar. Thank you so much, Rosie. I'm honored. A.B. Sundaran is saying, thank you so much, sir, for making our time valuable and useful too. Thank you too. And so is Soumya, Nivi, Raji, all are thanking. Well, a big thanks to you, teachers. You really have been frontline warriors, doing a great service. Amazing time, right? Yes. Sohail says, yes, pronunciation and through the phonetic sounds. Absolutely right, Sohail. Noor, Kavita says, thank you very much, sir. Noor Fatima says, how to explain the difference between T-I-O-N and S-I-O-N? Well, the best thing that we can do here is to make them practice that. Once they practice, they will keep getting it. And mostly the T-I-O-N nouns, T-I-O-N will always be nouns. So you can also keep telling them that. Smith says, grammar and technology can bring wonders. Yes, Smith, you are already looking to be a very tech-savvy teacher. Great. And Bhuvaneshwari says, thank you, sir. Okay. So teachers, okay, before I end, Lata says, to be honest, I was meddling my mind thinking how to improvise grammar in children. This session is perfect one for me. Wonderful training session. Oh, Lata ma'am, thank you so much for your compliments. God bless you. And Sumati and Noor, thank you too. So here we are. I'm going to sign off with that one line which I had told you. Collaboration is better than competition. Because this is what my parents taught me. That in a rat race, even if you stand first, you're still a rat. So my dear friends, teachers, let's not make our children rats. Let's make them giants. Giants in everything that they do. Giants here. Thank you. Love you all. God bless you all. Bye.